100% will happen by 2020. How sacrosanct is this target?
All right. The first question is on the 2020 deadline. That is the aspiration we have set for ourselves. I think that if we follow the timetable, and I'll let members of the gas flare commercialization program comment on this, but if we follow tightly the sort of deadlines and the events that we've set aside, we should be able to achieve that. However, it is an aspiration. We have a 2030 United Nations aspiration deadline. We're saying to ourselves we want to be as fast on this as possible, likely because we have commenced quite a few programs even before the United Nations declaration of the deadline. So we're basically working on that. Like I said, the available records are showing that you've almost achieved over 75% of that. So we should be able to hopefully target end 2020. If we don't succeed in 2020, we will go on to 2021. I think sometimes we leave the substance and we spend too much energy on the niceties of timeline. What is important is that there's a 10-year differential between what we're targeting and what United Nations has set for us. So there's enough time within which to do this, but I like to push my folks. I think that if they follow what has been agreed, what the consultants have presented, what we've signed on to, the programs that we've started, I think we should be able to work towards that deadline. Thank you. The second question was on LPG penetration and the absence of infrastructure. It is a key component issue. I've said in very many forums that over $30 billion required for infrastructure in the petroleum sector in this country. And I think it's something we need to begin to address very, very seriously. Now, in the interim, the thing we've done is to look at virtual pipelines, which is basically using trucks, specialized trucks, to try and move commodities to every part and nook of the country. And we're setting up under the LPG penetration model, like we said this morning, we're setting up LPG penetration distributors. And so they're the ones who pick up the LPG from the manufacturers of the MPG, put in their own filling plants and cover a given systemic area that has been set out. And they will obviously have trucks to pick it up from the south and take it into the north. Final solution, obviously, at some point in time is that we need to have all the infrastructure we need to run this efficiently. But we cannot continue to wait for those infrastructure. Like, you know, the Federal Executive Council has approved quite a series of them, the OBOB, AKK, all of them. But it takes time to build. Some of those have been private sector funded. It takes time to put those in place. I don't think we can justify any more wait to move on and begin to put solutions in place without having to wait for those infrastructure. So that's what we're trying to do.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Let me please.
As you can hear from the presentation by the Director at DPR, over 800 expressions of interest have been received. Over 226 have been confirmed to have paid the minimum requirement of the fees of $1,000, and their bids have been received both electronically and some in hard copies. Typically, it's the one that the Honourable Minister had just, officially opened. So we have received substantial numbers of bids, totaling about 800 plus expression of interest, and so that number is quite significant. From the speeches also, even though we didn't go into detail, you can see that about 176 flare points have been identified for bidding, and therefore we have sufficient numbers of bids that have been received that can go around the various flares that have been so identified. Thank you.
Let me also add that one of the things that happened as soon as we launched, gazetted and launched the program, was a lot of the oil companies who hitherto had said they didn't have the funding, they didn't have wasn't the important calendar to begin to do gas flare quickly, because the rule was that if you couldn't do it, we're going to take the flare points. And most of them immediately ran back and told us that they had been able to put together a structured bidding system within this and got exemptions from us to be able to. I looked at what they had done for satisfactory. We approved this so they can proceed to exit the flare using third parties that they had selected. So quite a lot of the multinational oil companies took exceptions under those because we saw through their bid process that they were able to quickly come online in terms of selection of companies. So the balance of what has not been exempted is what now is up for the bids. But like I said, the important thing is that the sudden realization that we were serious about this and we're going to move on and we're going to, somebody asked me what happens to 2020. The truth is that after 2020, the issues of flare will no longer be issues of just penalty payments. it will be a license to operate issue. Whether or not you can continue to operate in a manner in which you are basically doing things that are hazardous to the environment. So everybody understands that the president has given marching orders on this, and it's now showtime, really.
All right. Thank you very much, Chairman. Let me quickly get.
Repeat myself. I'm sorry.
So we'll make sure.
Repeat myself. I'm sorry.
So we'll make sure.
I will leave the members of the team to answer those. All I can say is the deadline has been. I think the deadline was 22nd. Yes, and for transparency purposes, you can't open it anymore. Otherwise, it will be unfair to those who are putting their bids. So it's closed already. You've heard they've gotten about 800 expression of interest. They've have about 200 who have paid the requisite fees to be considered proposed to the bidding process. So I think they have more than enough people that they need to be able to close out this. Again, if we're setting targets for ourselves in terms of time for conclusion, we cannot afford to be extending deadlines for application. Now, will there be circumstances in which at the end of the bidding process, some people do not present a credible bid that enables us to feel comfortable that from grounds of safety, capacity, funding, engineering, that they have the ability to deliver on the FLAIR program? Yes, there will be. And if we get to that point, then maybe those ones will be thrown back into a selective bidding process, looking at individuals who may not have bid there, but have very strong requisite skills for us to consider. But I don't want to make decisions on those. I've set up a team, have consultants working with them. Like we said today, the World Bank is involved in this, the NAIT is involved in this. So let me not provide answers to questions that they will, when they meet those roadblocks, they will come back for clarifications or guidance from me. But right now, they're in charge. They're my bosses on this one. So thank you very much. I will exit and let them continue if you have more questions on this. Thank you.
Thank you very much.